We gotta start. Look, we gotta start this new regime. Okay, this new regime, this best for business era.
Wait, are we live?
This we ain't been out here in a minute era. Yes, we is live. We is live. Okay,
Oh, you want to talk about we haven't been here in a while? This man up here, got married to try to avoid the podcast.
It wasn't my fault. You know what? I can say this now. I blame my wife. Look, I can say that. I can say that now because it's all her fault. Tanner understands, okay?
I get it. Hey, trust me, I get it. I totally get it.
But look, we got to talk about everything Mania, but we got some things we got to catch up on before we get to Mania. But first, I need y'all to get y'all's popcorn, get y'all's drink. Yes, that is John Cena's heel turn. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to preview this WrestleMania show. Are we excited or are we not? I don't know. We'll see. Get y'all's popcorn, get y'all's drink, and y'all stick with us because we got a heck of a show lined up for you right here on the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that takes a little bit of time off and comes back and is still always an instant classic. All right, y'all, what is going on with my good people? We back once again. It's the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, Casey means always, Justin means always, and Tanner, my boy, means always, and Instant Classic. It's still, look, to this day, we've been doing this for like a decade, and I still don't know the directions. It don't matter, though. It don't matter, okay? I do know my left from my right, but I don't know the directions on this thing because it's opposite. All right. But anyway, any Hoosers. We got to talk about WrestleMania 41. It's coming up in just under a week. But first things first, there was something big. And look, I'm just going to, and it's not Casey compared to his microphone. And there was something big that happened. Since we left, there was a lot of things big that happened since the last time. But we ain't going to talk about all of them, okay? There was a lot of things that happened. But we're going to talk about the one big thing that I think we at least for me, I know it shocked me. I know it shocked a lot of us. And I don't know. I mean, even with the rumor innuendo that it possibly could happen, it was still like a see it to believe it type situation. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts first, and then I'll give my thoughts on the debut of Rey Fenix. That's what I was talking. Sorry, wrong one. No, but realistically though, I want to hear y'all's thoughts on the John Cena heel turn, the Elimination Chamber. I'm gonna hold my thoughts and defer to you guys first. Let's go to Casey first, see what you thought, because I think for me, like I said, see it to believe it type moment, but I'll give a little more thoughts here in a bit. But Casey, how did you feel?
I liked it. I think there was way too much going on during the whole thing. I don't think we need to have celebrities or musicians involved in wrestling shows anymore. Just a thought, so nobody gets like a ruptured eardrum. Just throwing it out there. Bye, Justin. I mean, it was good. It was a good heel turn. I just think for me, I was a little bit split because I was like, on one hand, like we've waited 20 some years or whatever for Cena to turn heel, so it's like, oh, cool, like they actually pulled the trigger. It took Vince being gone to finally do it, but we pulled the trigger. But at the same time, I'm like, this is his retirement tour, so like, are we gonna have enough time to have a heel turn? And then because I can't imagine he would actually retire as a heel.
Yeah.
So are we going to have enough time to have a good heel run and then turn him face again? And what does that look like? How does that work?
Yeah. So, I know a lot of people have alluded to potentially this not being his last year. Like, I know that's what they said. I know it's the big thing. But maybe even, I mean, I've honestly been kind of, even since he announced his retirement, I've been a little bit confused that that they decided that he was going to retire at the end of the year as opposed to the end of the wrestling year. So I would be curious to see if they keep it going until Mania next year, just because, I mean, I don't think him retiring at what even is the last pay-per-view of the year? I just don't think that. So
Survivor Series, I think.
Is it Survivor Series? I thought it was one more. I must be thinking about December to Dismember.
December. No, wait, that's November to Remember.
Okay, I wouldn't be mad about Survivor Series.
Yeah, but they don't have. I mean, NXT has a show. Was it Deadline? But he's not gonna be on Deadline. He's going to NXT. That's what he's doing. He's gonna be in NXT.
I don't know. I still think for as big of a star as he is, like arguably one of the biggest stars in WWE history, right? I don't think anyone can really argue that. I would have had it be WrestleMania to WrestleMania. Have him go out on the biggest show of the year. Yes, I love Survivor Series. Don't get me wrong. I love Survivor Series. I love the Big Four. But Mania's Mania. And this is John Cena. Like, literally a household name. People who have never watched wrestling a day in their life have heard of John Cena.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I felt like it was kind of, that was kind of my biggest thing is like, it is weird that they're going to end it on the end of the calendar year, not the wrestling year. But like I said, I think him being heel may even let them push it a little bit further. Like, kind of give you oh man, this is going to be the last time. But then in actuality, wrestling magic, it's not. So it'll be interesting to see. Justin, what was your thoughts? You were there, right? If I'm not mistaken. Weren't you there? Weren't you in the building?
At the Rumble. I wasn't at Elimination Chamber. I was at the Rumble though.
I thought you were at the freaking chamber.
Why weren't you there?
I was not gonna. Well, because I didn't want to go all the way to Toronto, Canada. But yeah, my whole thoughts on it. So
fake wrestling fan.
In the moment, I was what fake wrestling fan.
Fake fan.
I hear echo going on. I don't know why. But yeah, in the moment, I was like really shocked. Like I go, like, oh my god, Cena turned heel. Like it's like 10 years ago. Like we were saying, oh yeah, we want Cena to turn heel. We want to see him do a heel turn. And then finally, towards the end of his career, he did it, and he aligns with The Rock. Like that's something. Like if you would have told me 10 years ago that was going to happen, I would have laughed. I would say, nah, you're crazy. I would say Cena would never turn heel. But yeah, that made for like a really good, a really great moment, and like also Travis Scott being in the ring. I'm a big Travis Scott guy, so him being there, like I was just like really confused. Like, why is Travis here? Like, don't get me wrong, I like Travis, but why is he here? Him punching Cody in the face and all that, like busting his eardrum and like giving him that, giving that good old shiner on his face. But yeah, I enjoyed seeing this heel turn with Cena, and I was wondering, before Cena did his before he did his first promo as a heel, I was like, are they going to change his theme song? Or are they going to change his attire? Like, what are they going to do? And now seeing the stuff that we've been getting, he just seems more like he's been really whiny, like he broke up with us on television. Like, whoa, like Cena, whoa. Like, dude, like that's just crazy. Like, I feel embarrassed right now. Like, really embarrassed. Like, why are you gonna do that to me? You're gonna break up with me like that? Like, no, you ain't gonna be doing that to me. You go talk to me like that. You can't talk to me like that, Cena. But no, it was crazy to see him turn heel.
Yeah, and I think too. I think another thing, like I think it's been, and maybe it's just, I don't know if it's just Cena and we don't really know what to expect. But I think it's almost been perfect. Like it's been perfectly imperfect, if that makes sense. Like I feel like there's a lot of things he could easily do within this turn to just keep it going up a notch. Kind of like you said, Justin, not changing gear, right? For as lazy of a heel move as that is, for Cena, it's perfect because people are tired of the same old Cena, LOL Cena wins, all of that stuff, right? Like the same gear, the same merch. People expected this turn to be, oh, I'm gonna come out wearing all black. Like, he changed his mannerisms, right? He changed the way he talks to us as fans, but in terms of his gear, it's kind of the perfect heel move, and I want to feel like it's really never been done before, which is something that we can rarely ever say.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also like how he's saying he's going to take the title from us, like from WrestleMania at WrestleMania. Like kind of like what CM Punk did like back in like 2011 and stuff. He's just going to walk out and like we're not going to see the championship ever again and stuff. So I kind of like that we're getting that and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy that Cena's a heel.
Casey, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna kind of piggyback off what you said real quick with like, people being tired of the same old John Cena. I almost feel like within the past couple years, that was changing though. I feel like people were genuinely starting to love John Cena, right? It wasn't the, oh, we're tired of John Cena, he's being shoved down our throats anymore. It was kind of people were changing to genuinely liking John Cena. So that kind of, in a way, I think feeds into the, works well with the heel turn too, because you like you said, you got the breakup with us on national TV, which I just want to know, like, do I get custody of like pets? How does this work? Do I get the house? Do I get the car? Anyway, but yeah, it's like, again, I'm still on the fence with the heel turn. There was parts of I liked, and then parts that I was like, probably should have done this years ago, but I'll take it.
You're muted, DJ.
Yeah, you're muted.
DJ, you gotta unmute
it. Tanner, give your thoughts on.
Okay, so sadly, I did not get to see the heel turn live. I was busy at that time whenever Elimination Chamber was going on. So I had a bunch of my friends that were going nuts in our Facebook group chat. And I was catching up with like the feed because I was trying to catch up with on Twitter. And it ended up everyone's going crazy. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that Cena won. Oh yeah, no, that's crazy. And it was like, no, you got to check it out now. And I went on and I started losing my ever-loving mind that Cena had turned heel. I started watching wrestling about the time that the C Nation was really coming up. It was about like 2005, 2006. Whenever I started watching wrestling, and that's whenever Cena, it was like either 2006, 2007. Oh yeah, right in the nads. Yeah. But so I grew up as like a John Cena fan as like a little kid. As I got older, I started to really see like, Cena kind of get shoved down my throat, and I was just like, okay, maybe we need to back off a little bit. Especially around the time of like the Nexus and everything. I was like, okay, does he really need this? Because I started growing up in a little bit more, and that was about the time I stopped watching, and then I eventually came back. So the fact that I see a person that I started out watching and I see him do something in the 20-some years that I've been watching wrestling on and off, I never thought I'd ever see it. Especially with like the talks that they almost turned him heel back whenever he first faced The Rock back in 2014.
Yeah,
they were thinking about 2012. Yeah. Sorry, in 2012 they were looking at turning him heel for that, and they never did. So I was thinking maybe they would use the theme that they had already recorded. I was thinking, well, maybe they'll show up and make sure that he doesn't have the Def Rebel treatment, and actually still have a song that's actually pretty good. But no, it came out the same way. Honestly, I look more at it, and no, that was the right move, because it is still the same John Cena. It's just his like you said, mannerisms has changed. the way he talks. It's pretty much it's still the same way. It's just because the way he's talking, he would talk to other wrestlers about running them down and everything. So not a lot has changed in that regards, but it still fits in with the heel turn regardless, because he's just unleashing now. It doesn't feel like he's holding back. He is just going at it.
Yeah. And that's the thing too about Cena. We've always talked about this throughout the years, and you know, he's just so good on the mic. He always has been. He's always kind of had the crowd in the palm of his hands, and we've always thought, like, you know, he always had a good response. Even when they're chanting Cena sucks, he had a good response as a face. I'm saying now, right? He had a good response when even he knew exactly what to do. Like if you go back to One Night Stand, right? Like, yeah, I mean, of course we see the callbacks with the towel and everything now, with him putting the towel over his head and just barreling down through the crowd. But like even that, like because yes, he was polarizing back then, but it wasn't never that vicious. But also I think another thing that made this turn even better was the fact that of where they had him first come out after. I think having that first show in Belgium, I think it was, and having that crowd as raucous as they were, I think it set the scene for the reaction. You know, the smart fans couldn't come out and just cheer him because they were happy he was a heel. They stood true to what, and I think he was prepared for fans to do that, right? I think he's prepared for fans to actually cheer him, and he had something kind of in his back pocket. I think that's a whole thing about the Let's Go Cena people too. I think he had that in his back pocket, but I think having the show in Belgium and letting those fans just be completely raucous and just like almost kind of take over in a way, and he just kind of just stood there in it and let it be, and just, you know, continued to be who he is.
On top of that, let me piggyback off of that.
And
that was smart.
And on camp. Go ahead.
Sorry. So let me piggyback off of that. I think it was the best thing that whenever he turned heel, they were starting the foreign tour, because the smart marks in the US would have just ate it up, give the wrong reactions going on for the heel turn, for it to be foreign, because they don't have a whole lot of shows in those areas. So the fact that there's like, no, we have to give the right responses because we want them to come back to the area. We want to be wild. We want to show out. This was the smartest move that WWE could have done to submit the heel turn and make it legit.
Yeah, and really kind of to piggyback off of that, because I was going to bring up that point also, and we've talked about this on the podcast. When they go overseas, when they go, you know, to the UK, Europe, wherever, you get such a bigger, genuine reaction from fans because WWE is not always there, right? We kind of take it for granted here because, you know, you can always go to a WWE show, even if you have to drive, you know, or travel maybe a couple hours, right? It's pretty easy for us to go to a WWE show here, whereas they don't always go over to those countries. So, like, those fans are going to give such a bigger reaction because, like, to a lot of them, it's almost like a WrestleMania moment because, again, they don't get to see it a lot. So it's a huge deal. And another thing I was going to kind of piggyback off of or add was, I may be wrong, but I believe John Cena may be the longest or one of the longest, like, had one of the longest babyface runs probably ever. So then to have him actually turn heel when we never thought it would happen, right there, like,
Pretty sure
almost,
Bruno might still have the longest.
Yeah. It's very close, though, but because I was thinking, like, it's definitely not Hogan, because Hogan was only like 85 to 96. I think that's when he turned heel. Was it 96? Yeah. So yeah, and so like 95. Was it?
Yeah, I think so. Was it? Maybe I might be wrong. Maybe I don't know.
I think it was 96. Was Bash
go
at the
Google
Beach.
it.
I think it was Bash at the Beach 96.
Yeah, because that's when they formed NWO, or when he joined.
Yeah, it was 96. Yeah. You're right.
Justin, you had something you wanted to mention?
Justin slipping.
I am flipping. You know, it's that old age. No, but yeah, I had seen his heel turn. Like you guys said, you know, I don't think. Oh yeah, now I remember. I don't think he's gonna be a heel like to end off his career. I think they'll eventually do a face, but it's seeing like what he does. If he's gonna be able to win the title here at Mania, it's gonna be very interesting how they do this match here, and like the way his style is in the ring. If he keeps like the same style or like what he does, because we haven't seen him like in a match, since he with his heel turn.
Oh yeah, that's true. I was gonna say too. This is one of the first heel turns in a long time. I can't remember. I'm honestly probably blanking on the last one that I felt this way about, but the last one where I audibly was like, "Oh my god!" like, "Oh my gosh!" Like that really just happened.
It was probably Kenny by God Omega for you. That's probably the
maybe.
It's probably
maybe.
Kenny Omega.
It was the Bucks of Youth.
It was the Bucks.
But like, yeah, it's been a while since I've had a turn where like it was mentioned, it was brought up. I mean, and I was gonna say this too, and I definitely want to get into the preview, but I was gonna say this too. I feel like moments like that make me proud to be in this little niche that we're in of being wrestling fans, because you cannot explain it to somebody who's not. Like you cannot, like it's unexplainable. It doesn't matter how hard you try, they'll never get it. And to be in this little group of people, which is a big group of people realistically, but you know what I'm saying. To be in this like kind of small, unique knit of people, and to understand what that moment meant to us as just watching wrestling, watching sports entertainment, however you want to say it, there's moments like that where you're just there. It's just a feeling you have, and you can't really describe it. It doesn't happen in any other sport. It doesn't happen in any other form of entertainment. It's just a wrestling feeling. It's the same feeling I had when CM Punk returned both times. Like it's the same feeling I had then too, right? It's the same feeling when you have a big return at the Rumble. Like it's that feeling that nobody like. I feel bad for him, and I get that people think it's stupid, but I feel bad that they'll never get that kind of euphoric feeling that wrestling fans get from a moment like this.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those, like, it's very far and few between that you get to be able to have, like, a bunch of people, like, that you can talk about this kind of thing. That's why I was, like, messaging, like, DJ. I was just, like, especially when, like, Punk returned or something happened, I was just, like, I knew I could automatically message you, like, because I'll get a reply from anyone, like, oh, my God, did you see this?
Yeah, go ahead, Casey.
I was just gonna say, like, kind of piggybacking off of what you said. It's so hard, and I'm not saying it's impossible to have that same feeling in other forms of entertainment or sports or whatever. But like, you don't get surprise returns in the NBA. You don't get surprise returns in the NFL or baseball or whatever. Because you already know, oh, somebody's coming back from injury, blah blah blah. They're going to be, playing this week or this Sunday or whatever, right? So to get like a big return or a big debut, like that feeling is something that like you can't, like DJ was saying, you can't really describe to somebody. And like for a big win, like when your favorite wrestler that you have been pushing for to win the title finally wins the title, and you have that euphoric feeling, you can have that in other sports. Like for example, when the Cubs finally won the World Series again after 108 years, like that is a huge feeling. That's something
I cried during that.
That's something similar to like, your favorite wrestler, your hero, whatever, winning the title at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
So that's similar, but wrestling is so different, and the feeling is so different, and people just don't. You either get it or you don't. It's
Right.
not. There's no in between. I feel like.
Yep. I definitely agree. But let's jump into our preview of this show. I think, and I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts as I still get everything ready and set up. But this Mania, like, there's some good matches built into this Mania, I feel like. But it almost gives me like WrestleMania 2000 vibes for some reason. Like, there's some multi-man matches that just kind of got thrown in there just to have some people on the show. There's some matches that probably shouldn't be multi-man matches, but they are. Like, it's
I
just
don't know.
interesting to me.
I kind of think, as far as like the multi-man matches go, there's not a whole lot of them. I feel like each of the multi-man matches that are in there, I feel like the build has been good to warrant the multi-man match. The two that come to mind is the triple threat for the world heavyweight, the women's world heavyweight with Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. I think that warrants it. And then the IC title match with Braun Breaker, I can't remember, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and I can't remember the fourth one.
Penta.
I feel that warrants, just because, especially with the IC title match, usually you look at like the best WrestleMania opener with WrestleMania 34 with Finn Balor, The Miz, and Seth Rollins. That was a beautiful triple threat match and a great way to start off that Mania. I feel as though this will have the makings of a beautiful car crash, not necessarily with like weapons and everything, but a beautiful car crash of a match.
Well, real quick to kind of, again, piggyback. I agree that, I think the buildup has been pretty good for most of these matches. And I wish Adam had actually came to the episode tonight, because he and I have been talking off and on about WrestleMania and, this WrestleMania, past WrestleManias, and I'm gonna sound like, an old man. I'm gonna sound like get off my lawn guy, but I hate that WrestleMania is 2 nights, because, and hear me out, WrestleMania is supposed to be, the biggest show of the year, right? It's supposed to be the showcase of the immortals, best of the best. I think it should still be that only the very best should be on the card. And I'm not even saying that this year's WrestleMania is this case, but there have been WrestleManias in the past like 10 whatever years, however long they've been doing the 2-night thing. There have been some WrestleManias where there have been way too many matches, lasted way too long, just because I feel like they want to get as many people on the card as possible, which shouldn't be. Like, for me, working on the independents, you have to earn your spot on the card, right? You're not just going to walk into an indie show and be like, hey, I have my gear, I'm trained, put me on the card. No. There are some shows that will do that, especially if they, somebody drops out and they need somebody to throw in there. But you can't just walk in there and be like, I want to be on the card. You have to earn your spot on the card. I think I think it should be a 1-night thing again. And I think you should have to really earn that spot. That's just my opinion on it. I know people are going to disagree. But
I have a quick point that I wanted to make about it, because I may have a quicker point than Tanner has on it. But I think what frustrates me just on the other end of the spectrum is, how do you have 2 nights of Mania, 8 hours of Mania, but you can't fit all your champions on the show? Like that, I think is what annoys me. Is if you're gonna have 2 nights of Mania, then I'm not saying AJ Styles versus Logan Paul should be on the show, but you're creating all these titles, these mid-card women's titles, and they're not even being showcased. Now, some of it has a lot to do with the lack of build in those areas too. Like even going back to the like War Raiders New Day thing hasn't been built well. I don't think it's been kind of thrown together at the last minute. But at the same time, so has the U.S. title on the women's side and the Intercontinental Championship for the women's side. So like I feel like that's another frustration point for me.
And to kind of, I know Tanner's waiting to get his point out.
No, you're good. You're good. You go ahead.
No, that's another thing, and it just popped into my head when DJ kind of mentioned it, and we've talked about this again over the years. WWE has these they'll have a ton of titles, like so many different championships, and then they'll combine championships and they'll condense championships, and then they'll introduce new championships. So then again, we have a ton of championships. Again, I think less is more. Like, yes, you have a tag team title, and I think there should be one tag team championship. I don't care that there's 2 shows or whatever, blah blah blah. It should be the best tag team in WWE should have the tag team titles. There shouldn't be multiple tag team titles. I agree that there should be a women's tag team championship and a women's mid-card title along with the women's championship. I think that's been missing for many, many, many years, and I'm glad that they have that now. But then there's always like they'll introduce all these titles that they don't do anything with, or that you could bring back a classic title that people love that you could actually do something with. It's just it's kind of a revolving door of, again, like I said, they'll get a bunch of titles and then we'll condense them again, and then we'll introduce more titles, and it's just, to me, less is more, and it makes those championships that you do have mean more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tanner.
Okay. I agree that talking about the too many cooks kind of thing with the too many championships, I do definitely agree with that. Well, even with them introducing new titles, there were still points in WrestleMania history that they wouldn't have the IC title on the show. They wouldn't have like the US title on the show, regardless of them having like the same amount of championships that they've had for many, many years. They go with what I feel like the best build is. Now, am I kind of ticked that they can't come up with more creative stuff with their mid-card championships? Yes, I do. I'm kind of a little hacked off over that. But a lot of the matches on this card, I feel like have the better storylines going. And like some of the championships may not get on the card. It sucks. But here's the thing, talking about I never liked the WrestleManias on the Sunday nights going from like 6:30 in the evening or 7 o'clock, and then it's after midnight by the time that they finally get done. I never did like that. I'm glad that they split it into 2 parts, just because you're not up into the wee hours of the morning going forward. Now I know that they have announced that starting with pre-show to post-show, WrestleMania is looking at 9 hours.
And nobody cares. To be honest, I want to interrupt for a minute. To be honest, nobody cares about the pre-show. Like, they're gonna just talk and like there's no matches on the pre-show anymore. So
yeah, there's not.
Hey,
with the
DJ loves
no
the
one
pre-show.
cares.
DJ loves the pre-show. He used to talk about the pre-show all the time.
We got the one pre-show enjoyer. Now, some of the if they would have matches on the pre-show, I would try to check it out. But more than likely, I wouldn't check it out. So I don't really care, just because I know what I'm about to go into. Here's the thing with
and then they also when they're talking on the pre-show, they go like they're trying to like build up like that. Some of these matches have been going on for like months, or like they tried to like. I gotta say, WWE, they always done great with their video packages. Like even if you don't watch the weekly shows, like you can like pretty much be summed up like okay, yeah, this is what this whole feud is about, and they did really good with that.
To piggyback off the pre-show thing, and I may be the only one here old enough to remember this because I'm old, and DJ reminds me of that all the time. I miss Sunday Night Heat before a pay-per-view. I loved Sunday Night Heat before a pay-per-view.
Yep.
Because it wasn't necessarily a pre-show. It was their weekly Sunday night show. But it felt so much bigger before a pay-per-view.
Yeah. I will say this too. I feel like the pre-show has almost become kind of like Justin just said with the video packages. It's kind of become the place to watch them because they don't show them before each match every time because you have to have a certain tier of Peacock to even see the darn video packages to begin with.
Yeah, you gotta have
a
the
Peacock
upgraded.
Premium Plus or whatever.
So I think that's another. I mean, that's one of the issues I have with Peacock to begin with because I think the video packages are one of the more important parts to the shows. But I mean, I get they're trying to make their money too, but it's just like I don't know, it's kind of annoying that you have to have a certain tier of Peacock to even see the video packages, especially if I don't know or maybe I've forgotten or maybe I haven't seen certain segments throughout the week or whatever it may be.
Let me go ahead and finish up my point before my ADHD loses it. But with the 2-night thing, it's so hard because I definitely agree, Casey, about the earning your spot on the card. Here's the thing, though, with WWE and how hard the wrestlers work. How do you pick and choose which ones have not earned it? How do you pick and choose which ones have not worked their tails off to earn that spot to showcase their talents at WrestleMania? That is the ultimate question. What I like about it with the 2 nights is it's still trying to cram in as much wrestling content as we can get, like they were doing in the past. But especially with some of it being on Sundays, you got people that work. You got people that have to go in. A lot of times, especially at my job now, sometimes I have to get up at 3:30 in the morning to go in and open up like a medical clinic and stuff like that. I have to get up early a lot of times. I can't be staying up till after midnight to try to watch WrestleMania. And I'm going to miss out on a whole lot of stuff. I'm going to get spoiled on a lot of stuff. I can appreciate the 2-night WrestleMania cards just because I don't have to stay up so awful late and I get to take in everything that they can give me.
Okay. Anything else before we hop into the matches? Yeah, go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, so I kind of want to talk about the 2-night thing also. There's pros and cons to having 2 nights. 2 nights, you got, with having 2 nights, you can, you don't have as much time, for like, if you have one night, because WrestleMania 35, what was that, like 7.5 hours?
God, that was so long.
So I like that, but then again, I agree with Casey's point. The best of the best need to be on WrestleMania, and so I definitely do agree with that. But like, I don't know. To be honest, WrestleMania 41. It hasn't been built up as good as WrestleMania 40 was because I don't know. Maybe it's because we're missing the Rock here. Like I was excited to see the Rock last year to the final boss, and it was also the 40th WrestleMania. So I don't know. Maybe I was more excited about that. I don't know, but there's something missing this year with with this buildup that's been going on with WrestleMania.
Well, but also Justin, I was going to say too, like there's kind of that Easter egg of what was the Rock's point in this heel turn to begin with? Yeah, like, is the Rock the only one that can make Cena turn heel? Like, what? And why the Rock? Right? Like that's Cena's like arch enemy, right? Like that's the guy that Cena went after for certain things.
It's like I know the Rock ain't announced, but I guarantee he's probably still going to show up just because Travis Scott is also the has the theme for WrestleMania 41, which I don't know why in the heck. I hope to God he's not going to be there, but I got a feeling he probably will be there.
Most likely he'll be there.
Yeah,
I don't
wanna
mind if
say
he's
too-
there as long as he doesn't get in the ring or touch anybody.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't touch anybody,
Actually,
that's fine. I don't want him to
Cody
injure
Rhodes
anybody
can give
else.
him. Cody Rhodes could give him a good old, crossroads. Maybe put him through something. Maybe put him through a table or something.
Yeah,
I don't
I was
know.
gonna
okay
say
with
too,
that.
Justin. I was gonna say too. It's probably because The Rock was such a big part of the build into last year's Mania. Is probably why you feel like you're missing him for this year's Mania, because he feels like he should be. But of course, we know Cena can carry it on his own.
Mhm.
But like we said, there's that Easter egg of like, why The Rock though? Like, why did you align with The Rock? Or are you just aligning with the corporation? Like, what? Like, are you just angry? Are you just mad?
Uh-huh.
Like, what is it?
And it also seems like some of these feuds have been built up like the same way. It's like, this week, you got these two people brawling and you got a, break up fight and all that. It seems
Yeah.
like a lot of these feuds that they've been happening that way. I mean, don't get me
I
wrong.
will say-
I like seeing brawls, but like, can they
Yeah.
do some different things in there?
I want to mention too, just looking at, and I know I was giving the card a hard time earlier, but like just looking at the card, it makes me wonder what matches I would take off.
I would take this match off right here. This match right here.
In potential of making the show better. Like, yes, this match is going to be good, but yes, I agree that it was built literally 2 nights ago or something. Like, okay, it was built on Raw, but like it was it feels like it was just built. They were trying to get the New Day. Like, it's weird because I feel like the New Day turned heel. It had so much potential to be a hot act, and then they weren't on TV for a couple of weeks, which was weird. They weren't doing anything. They weren't building towards them at all. And then, they kind of demanded title shots, and that was it. I mean, they had the heat, but I don't understand. I don't know. But I mean, anyway, back to my original point. I mean, maybe Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano, possibly, but like, kind of like what Tanner said, would I take, knowing what that match could be, would I take Chad Gable, as good as he is, and pull him off of Mania, knowing for a fact that he's been, for a guy who hasn't sniffed the title in a while, he's been one of the guys who you feel like has earned it, right? Like, he hasn't been around the title, but he's still been very, very good. Everything he's done has felt very, as if it's been good.
And the fact that he should have, I still say he should have been the one to fight Gunther and should have been the one to dethrone Gunther at last year's WrestleMania for the IC Championship. I feel like he is due a good WrestleMania showcase, like a one-on-one showcase. He is due a good one. He's been on WrestleMania before and it's been kind of meh. He deserves a good one.
Yeah. Casey, you had something to say before we hop into this match?
I don't know why we're
me
talking about
and you tag team, triple threat tag team title match right here.
His name isn't Chad Gable. It's El Grande Americana.
I don't know why you guys are talking about Chad Gable. He's not even like, we haven't even seen him in how long?
God.
That's true.
He's been doing backstage stuff. He's been doing backstage stuff.
Yeah.
So he's.
Why
I hope he makes an appearance,
everyone
though.
bring up Chad Gable when we're talking about El Grande? Like,
It's like with Hulk Hogan and Mr. America.
they're not even the same person. Like, I explained this. I explained this before we get in the show. Okay. Chad Gable. Okay. He there was a picture that I showed. He had his arms down, and El Grande has his arms up. Okay, different. And Chad Gable doesn't wear a mask. Have you ever seen him wearing a mask? No, you haven't.
Yeah.
And while we're at it, people continue to say that Sami Zayn and El Generico are the same person. Sami Zayn has long hair. He can't fit it in a mask. That's ridiculous. And
I will give you that one. Now, and also he's up on a farm in Canada. He's retired.
exactly. He's working in an orphanage.
Mhm.
Like, come on. Anyway, sorry, I had to rant there.
So jumping into night one, at least according to my reliable sources called Wikipedia, we got the War Raiders.
Yes,
and
that's
the
correct.
New
This
Day.
is on night one. They announced they were showing like graphics on SmackDown, and this is a night one match. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, if Wikipedia is right, I guess I got him right. We'll see. But I think the New Day's winning this match because I think they've been kind of pushed. the thing about the War Raiders, I think they want to push them so bad, but they never really do. Like they kind of just find themselves in good positions. They find themselves having good matches, but they never really give them a consistent push. And I think they really want to run with this New Day heel turn like run. And plus, you know, I know it probably doesn't feel like it, but the New Day haven't had the titles in like 4 or 5 years, I think, or something like that. They said so. It's like it's almost about time for them to get them back, I would say. So I'm gonna go with the New Day to get the win on this one. Justin, what you think?
You know, because I'm trying to think, you know, like between, you know, night one with all the title matches I got, they're not going to make a lot of these, you know, they're not going to make every single title change hands. I was like, well, title might stay the same here. I think that they're going to keep the War Raiders with the tag team championships here. This seems more of like a backlash type of match here. You know, sometimes go on backlash or something. I don't know. Maybe they change the titles later on down the road. I mean, they've been doing a lot of title changes on regular television. Like it seems like every week. And like there's a whole lot of build to this match.
How we got to Io Sky, how we got to Io Sky, Bianca, and Rhea, I'll never understand.
crazy stuff. But to be honest, I think this match should have been left off the show. Like that is some robbery what they are doing to the Street Profits. Because listen, that is the better tag team division over there on SmackDown.
Facts.
Like I love what they've been doing on SmackDown. Because you got DIY over there. You got the Mercy Machine Guns. Keep going,
Justin. Like that, like you just said. You made a good point. They've been building that whole tag team division for like 2 months now, at least. Like just with the Street Profits coming back and all of that. Like, and they've had them show up at pay-per-views and like, you know, mess things up and finally get their title shot. Like I agree. Like if I was gonna swap anything, I would swap and add the Street Profits and whatever feud you want to throw them in over there on SmackDown. Because I mean, they had
have a
couple of chances at a couple things.
Because you know they love doing their multi-man tag team matches for the titles. So I would just do like a big like gauntlet match or something, you know, because like with all those teams that have been involved, you know, you got DIY, you got Motor Machine Guns, you got the who else is tag team over there? I don't know, I'm probably missing a few, but yeah, I mean that tag team division is so much better on
DIY,
SmackDown.
Pretty Deadly.
Pretty Deadly, throw Pretty Deadly in there. They got a title shot coming up, which also hold on, a sidebar here. I hate that they're calling it SmackDown, WrestleMania SmackDown. Like, can we please stop calling it that? Like, did they do that last year for?
Yeah, they did last year. Yeah, they did the same thing. It was stupid.
And then they got the dumb Andre Memorial Battle Royal, which we don't know who's in that match. Like,
it's everybody that can get on the card.
Everybody can't get on the card, and it's gonna be the Andre Memorial is so irrelevant. But yeah, to be honest, I think I'm kind of getting off on a side tangent here. I think that the War Raiders are going to retain.
Tanner, what you got?
I also got the War Raiders retaining just because I don't feel like there's a huge build up to this. And I got this might be a dumb prediction. I feel like Biggie might finally get his babyface fire back and cost the new Day their chance at the title and help with the War Raiders staying, because he's on the pre-show and everything, so he's going to be there. So this might be a chance for him to get back at the New Day for what they did to him. And I don't think he'll get in the ring or anything, but it'll cause enough distraction to help the War Raiders retain.
Casey?
I did not even think about that.
Yeah, I did not think about that at all.
Yeah. Because my initial thought is this match, for some reason, is just weird to me. These are not... I mean, they're two great teams, and they're going to put on a great match, but these are not two teams that I would book together in a match for WrestleMania. And I know it was, kind of thrown together last minute, but yeah, just something about it is just off to me. I don't know what it is. But bringing up that point, I agree. It's going to be War Raiders are going to retain. Big E's going to do something. Again, I like Tanner said, he's not going to get involved because I don't know. I think I heard he's may possibly be able to wrestle again, maybe. But I don't know. I wouldn't want to risk anything.
Mm-hmm.
But he's definitely gonna. I think he'll distract them enough, and they're heels. You could easily distract the heel, in a match.
Mhm.
So definitely going to be some sort of shenanigans. But the War Raiders are going to retain, and then I think that'll lead into the next pay-per-view. With Big E somehow involved. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised too if some of the title changes that don't happen on Mania happen on the Raw after.
Yeah.
Just to have a little bit of surprise factor, and kind of like Justin said just a few minutes ago, they've been changing titles with the wind on the weekly shows lately. So
Yeah.
it's possible. But next up, we got El Grande Americano going up against Rey Mysterio. Sorry, Ray. It's not as fun of a name to say. It's El Grande.
Also, I like the graphics that they're using for WrestleMania.
I know, right?
You got the card graphics, and it fits that Vegas theme. I like that. The gambling.
I do miss motion graphics though. That's the one thing from the early 2000s and Ruthless Aggression era and stuff like that I miss is just the motion of people doing their poses or whatever it is. I don't know. It just gave that cliche, that big fight feel, to it. It just did. I do miss that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree there.
But for me, I'm going with El Grande Americano. This man right here has been over across the entire universe. Okay, to refine his skills as a luchador. Okay, who happens to look like Chad Gable sometimes, and because of that, I know Chad Gable went on a quest, right? He went on a quest. He got a mask. So something's up with these two here. I don't know. They'd be a good tag team, I think. They would mirror each other, I think, almost. But I feel like El Grande Americano is going to win this match because, Chad Gable went on the quest and then he came back and he started beating luchadors a little bit. But I think he trained this El Grande Americano guy, because they kind of similar. They look similar sometimes. If you chop the wings off, just look at it. If you chop the wings off, right, just chop them off. If Chad Gable was bald, hair versus hair match, I think this would be possibly him.
I think you're stretching there. I don't know about that.
They both got the single,
I think you're stretching, DJ. I think you're starting to lose it a little bit.
Kind of built the same. The shoulders broad.
No, you know who that is? That is Jason Jordan. That's who that
is. No, it's Kurt Angle.
It's Kurt Angle. It's Perk Angle. It's Perk Angle. No, that's Damian Sandow under there.
Is that a wait? Is that an American-made logo down there? I see it.
It is, yeah.
That's giving a little Chadwick Gable.
Hey, you know what? Chad Gable used to say. He used to say, thank you." And what does thank you in Spanish? What's he been saying? He's been saying something.
No,
yeah,
you're welcome. Gracias.
Gracias. Yeah. So there's some similarities there, and that says the great Grande. Grande is huge or something big, something American. The huge American. Great American.
So people can't say thank you in their native tongue.
No, they can't. No.
Wow.
They can't.
Wow.
Wow. Gracias.
So everyone that says thank you is Chad Gable. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying right now?
Yes, it is.
Wow. He looks nothing like Chad Gable. He's way more ripped than Chad.
The same shape.
They do not. They don't look anything alike. He's way more jacked than Chad Gable ever could hope to be.
Also, he has suplexes just like Chad Gable. It's weird. There's something weird.
I agree that he might be trained by him. I think yeah, he's
Again,
trained.
just because people do suplexes does not mean that they're Chad Gable. Do you know how common a suplex is?
I think that's a rabid Wolverine. I think it's the guy who we can.
Oh my God, no, no! Let's don't go there. We're gonna get canceled.
I will say this though. I think El Grande Americano's mask is coming off in this match.
Yeah, I definitely see that happening.
Yeah.
No, never.
Okay.
Never, not never.
All right, big man.
All right, so where we at? Who's in
yeah,
next
it's
pick?
me. Yeah, me. I see a Grande Americano. I see him winning here. Rey Mysterio, he's had many WrestleMania wins over the years. He doesn't need to win here. I don't even know why Rey Mysterio still wrestles because he is a Hall of Famer and he's still wrestling. I don't know. Maybe this might be. Then again, I could see Rey Mysterio winning, but I don't know. I feel like maybe they might have like a series of matches here. So give me a Grande Americano to win here. Yeah. I see that happening.
I'm a little surprised that my favorite luchador, Zelina Vega, is not on the show. I'm just saying.
I think she's gonna be. I think she has a match on that WrestleMania SmackDown. Unfortunately, maybe I might be wrong. But I see that the most devastating move in wrestling happening here. You know what that is, DJ. You love them. You love them finishes. Them good old roll up. Them good old roll up finishes. Maybe.
Oh, he loved roll ups, especially with Chavo.
He loves them finishes, so maybe he gets unmasked and then he takes advantage. He rolls up Rey Mysterio. There we go. It's like a win-win situation here. I feel like that's going to happen. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Also, I love how in professional wrestling is like the only like sport, entertainment, whatever, where you can retire and then still compete for like 10 years.
Right.
You can retire, announce you'll never retire, and still retire, but still come back.
And be inducted into the Hall of Fame and still wrestle for 20 years.
Tanner, what you think?
Give me El Grande Americano. I think his mask going to come off. It doesn't matter. So whoever's underneath the mask is still going to win. Give me El Grande Americano. Not a whole lot for me to say. Just I'm picking him.
Turns out it's Rey Mysterio under that mask. Anyway, Casey.
El Grande Americano is going to win, and he's going to take Rey Mysterio's mask off.
They're gonna, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna take each other's mask off. They're gonna take each other's mask off at the same time. That's what they're gonna do.
He's gonna take
they'll wear the other ones real quick.
No, they're gonna go like this. They'll go like, no, we can't.
We can't take Ray. He's gonna take Ray's mask off, and he's gonna look the same as he did in 2000.
All right, next one. We got.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
Do we even need to go into huge detail about this one?
Not really. I think Naomi, caution tape and all. No. Look, hey, I hated it when Orlando Jordan did it, but Naomi, she might be changing my mind. Okay, might be changing my mind.
You loved it.
No, I didn't. His was awful.
Should I go get that picture? Should I go?
No, please don't.
Please, dear God, no.
Please. Send it to Justin. Justin wants to see it. He never seen it before.
No. Tanner wants to see it.
Wait, what?
I'm going to send you that picture as soon as the show's over.
You don't remember Orlando Jordan and okay. Lucky you.
Oh wait, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh God, no.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you.
No, I think Jade Cargill gets her little comeuppance here. She gets her revenge. Like she got her a little bit of a revenge at Elimination Chamber. I feel like Naomi's kind of been sneaking up on her and getting her back and kind of getting her licks back. But I think Jade is gonna dominate this match. Even though I think it's gonna be fun. A good little yin yang power speed type match. I'm excited to see this one, to be honest. For one that doesn't have a title attached to it, it's got a good storyline to it. I'm still curious to see if Bianca is involved in this at some point in time later on down the road. Maybe, I don't know. They might have been just kind of swept that under the rug. I don't know, but we'll see. Justin, what you think?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this match quite a bit here. Like there's good story behind it, with Naomi attacking Jade Cargill, a few months back. Yeah, Jade Cargill, she's definitely gonna be winning here. But you know what? Naomi, she did it for Bianca, just like they did it for Big Rikishi.
Yeah,
I did it for
I
The
did
Rock.
it for The Rock.
Yeah, I mean The Rock. Yeah. Exactly. So Jade Cargill is winning here. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited for it.
Okay.
Just put me down for Jade, and we'll just move on. Jade's winning. End of story. Also, who's keeping tally of all our picks?
I guess
Just
it's
a.
me.
I guess
I was
it's
saying,
DJ.
let's keep tally of the picks because I have a title to defend.
Wait, did you win? Did you win predictions last
Me
night?
and you tied, but he gave me the advantage on the win because I predicted the cash in.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Casey, what you think?
Jade.
What?
Jade.
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 Oh, okay.
I'm going with Jade.
Jade.
All right.
Jade.
Next up, we got L.A. Knight going up against Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. Now, if L.A. Knight never lost the title, because he went through that weird period of time where he lost the title to Shinsuke for whatever reason that was, and then he eventually won it back. If he never lost it, Jacob Fatu would definitely win this match. But because L.A. Knight just won the title back, I think L.A. Knight is gonna by hook or by crook win this match. I gotta get my I gotta get ahead somehow. So this is how I'm gonna do it. Justin, what you? Okay, I see what y'all think. I see.
No, I love you, DJ. I mean, no, Solo. Listen, okay. I think we're gonna have some Solo involved in this match, but I think he cost Jacob Fatu here because that point you said, since LA Knight, winning just recently, kind of like winning back a few weeks ago. I don't think he's going to be losing title here. Even though I would like to see the title around Jacob Fatu, I think there's something bigger storyline with him and Solo Sikoa. Maybe Solo tries to help out Jacob and then ends up costing him. But yeah, LA Knight, yeah, he's gonna retain. Yep.
Okay, Tanner, what you got?
Nah, I actually have Jacob Fatu winning this, and here's my reason why. Randy Orton is without an opponent at WrestleMania. That is still on the card for him to fight somebody, whether it be Nick Aldis. But the fact of it is that Solo Sikoa came out and started brawling with Solo Sikoa. That is going to be Randy's opponent, Solo. Solo will not get involved because he will have taken an RKO and possibly a punt kick to the head, taking him out. And Solo will be left alone to his vices and utterly destroy LA Knight, capturing his first title and usurping Solo as the leader of the new bloodline.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't think it makes sense to have him face. I mean, the face Solo. I'd rather have it be Nick Aldis because with him getting RKO there, like it makes more sense to have Nick Aldis. And we haven't seen Nick Aldis. I mean, we've seen him as a general manager role.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen them, get in a WWE ring, which would be pretty cool,
Yeah, I agree. I wish it would be Nick Aldis, but the fact that whenever Solo came out and they started brawling,
maybe they're trying to, kind of swerve us here.
Yeah, maybe.
And we're not talking about Swerve Strickland. We're not talking about Swerve when that draft. We're not talking about that. No, I hope they swerve us here and they have Randy and Nick Aldis go at it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see that too. I'm trying to think if I because I remember seeing the RKO and I thought the same thing. I mean, I'd love to see it. I just don't know how they would do it without pulling Nick Aldis out from being the general manager if that's where they want him to stay. Do they do it like I've never had this moment before. I'd love to have this moment with you, a legend. I'm a legend elsewhere, but I've never really been able to show my skills here. I don't know. So it'd be.
I also was thinking maybe Orton could face Sami Zayn, but isn't Sami Zayn injured right now or something? He's like.
I don't see Sami getting involved this late in the game. The fact that makes me think of Solo because they had him come out this past Friday that he'd be the suitable replacement and have another SmackDown to try to build to that.
Yeah,
that's what makes me think of that.
Mm-hmm. Casey, what you think?
First of all, with the Orton thing, I would love it to. I don't know. Anyway, let me talk about this match first. Got to think about that because I'm sure we'll talk about that again later. But as for this one, I kind of want to see, and this is going to be my prediction, but I kind of want to see LA Knight just get absolutely destroyed because for one, he could sell it, right? Mm-hmm. He could sell being absolutely manhandled and just killed, right? And also, he's one of those guys, and there's I want to say very few out there that don't need a title, right? His charisma, his work on the mic does the work for him. Right, he doesn't need a title, so that's going to be my prediction. I think he's just going to get destroyed, not completely because you don't want to like bury him, but he's gonna sell, really really well. But yeah, it's going to be a good match either way.
Okay. Next up, we got the WWE Women's Championship match, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair, in a match that I feel like had all the potential to be built up very, very well. And I hate to say this, but Charlotte has screwed it up. Because y'all know I like Charlotte a lot. I do. Always been big on Charlotte. But ever since she's come back, she just hasn't felt as confident. I don't know. Maybe she's felt like in the wrong place. Like she should have been a face. Should have came back as like the, that Triple H-esque face when, you're kind of overcoming the odds and, you're working hard to get back. And they kind of pushed her back into her heel role. Well, the fans kind of pushed her back into her heel role. And it just hasn't worked. Like, the entire build has been awkward. Charlotte's been trying to play superstar in this one, and it hasn't worked. It's felt just weird. It's felt just out of place. I think the match is going to be fine. I just think the build up to this feud has been awful. I think they've tried to take shots at each other, and with other people it would have worked, but with these two, it just hasn't. It just hasn't. And we've seen Charlotte go up against more inexperienced people before, but and I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily Tiffany's fault either, because Tiffany's been good with everything else. It's just Charlotte trying to take over, I think. And I think that's been the issue. She's been playing Kobe ball a little bit on this one, and I just don't think it's been working. So I think Tiffany's going to retain, because I think the hatred for Charlotte is just too much right now to give her this title. No one's going to care. Everybody's going to be upset. And Tiffany's over. She's been over for a while, since she won Money in the Bank. Probably before she won Money in the Bank. That's why she won Money in the Bank. And I just don't think it's working. I think they would have been better off going with having freaking Nia win the Rumble and letting them go at it again, because at least you got a story behind it. This is just it's not working. So I'm going Tiffy time. It's Tiffy time at Mania time. So Justin, what you think?
See, I'm torn with this. I was cool with Charlotte winning back at the Royal Rumble, but to be honest, I think Charlotte's kind of became the John Cena of the women's division, where they she kind of gets shoved down our throats. She's won so many titles. People are tired because I feel like that's all Charlotte's booked around is just the title picture. And she just seems like when she comes on the microphone, like she just seems like a robot, she seems so monotone, which I don't like it. And the personal shots that they've been taking in like this whole storyline, have been like, I feel like Charlotte's been saying more of the words, like she's which she hasn't been able to like let Tiffany say much of the stuff. I feel like Charles came out more on top here. But I just have a feeling that
Justin, can I ask a question real quick too for you all to just respond to? I wonder if Charlotte, because obviously and I've always felt like Charlotte was good, but I wonder if she feels like, and especially with the reaction that she got at the Rumble, especially after she won, it makes me wonder does Charlotte feel like people has forgotten about her, so she's got to prove to them that she's still really good or still can talk or still can work? Because I've never seen her this like nervous almost. Like it's almost like she has to make herself a superstar when she's already proven that she can do it. Like I wonder if she's like having that imposter syndrome nervousness of coming back from an injury and feeling like maybe they forgot about me. Maybe they're upset at me. And then because they're upset at me, I'm going to lash out at them, but I'm still nervous trying to make my point. So it's not going to work. Like it just doesn't, it's not working.
Yeah, I do agree with that point, cause like, I mean, I haven't forgot about Charlotte because I was like, yeah, Charlotte's definitely winning. When she came out the Rumble with all that pyro, like, yeah, Charlotte's definitely winning this, and she was my prediction from the jump to be winning that. But I don't know. I just want to see somebody else in that, in this like scenario. I don't know, maybe like I don't know, hell, Liv Morgan, have her in there, have her win the Rumble because like she's been so close, with a lot of these Rumble matches, but I don't know. I feel like they're going to give it to Charlotte just because just because of her last name, and they like to have the baby face do the chase for the title, and then maybe they have Tiffany Stratton win it back at SummerSlam or something. So yeah, give me Charlotte to win here. Unfortunately,
I will say this? I feel like if Charlotte does win, she has to like turn on, for lack of a better term, her flair again, right? Like she has to like find herself again. Like I don't care, because I didn't get a chance to mention this during the John Cena thing. I don't care that Charlotte is pushed down our throats because that's what makes those good stories later. Roman Reigns is not Roman Reigns of today without a little bit of the force that they tried to go with before, right? John Cena's heel turn does not mean as much to us without that. So I mean, I think every so often, same thing with Hogan. Every so often, you need people who are kind of like it's almost unbearable to a certain degree, but I think they have to like turn her up a notch or something. Like she has to find herself if she does win this match. And like find her confidence again. But maybe that's the perfect reason why she shouldn't win this match is because she needs to go back and find her confidence again. Like don't give her a pity win. Tanner, what you think?
Okay, so as far as like Charlotte Flair failing off and everything, I don't necessarily think that it's because she's feeling nervous and everything. I think in real life she's feeling the effects of the current divorce she is having with Andrade.
I can see
They're
that.
currently going through divorce processes. That's probably what's got her riled up, and she's working at the same place as her soon-to-be ex. I feel like that's
that whole line that she said in that promo. She goes like, that's why Kaiser's in my DMs. Like damn, you didn't have to go that far. And also when Tiffany, she said that how you can't have like something about her like how all of her relationships failed in the past. Like damn, okay, like we're going like straight off, like we're going.
That's what got me. That's what got me. It did actually go off script. It has been reported that part of the promo and everything went off script. I think that has actually helped the feud because it was boring up until that point where they started firing shots back at each other. And I feel like that has actually went against Charlotte Flair. That's made me convinced that Tiffany can hold her own against Charlotte Flair toe for toe, promo for promo. Because Charlotte Flair has lost her edge, and I definitely think it's due to the fact that she's going through that divorce. I did have Charlotte Flair picked for the Royal Rumble because in the reports for her coming back, it was reported that she was going to be immediately pushed for a title shot. It doesn't necessarily say for a title win, but for a title shot. So give me Tiffy time to put on a clinic with Charlotte Flair, but this is her time to shine and her to show that she is going to be the new blonde heiress coming up that is going to show out with whoever she's put up with against.
Okay. Casey, what you think?
TV time.
Okay. All right, next one we got is the World Heavyweight Championship match, which is not the main event. Gunther and Jey Uso. This one's kind of gotten weird to me too, like build-up wise. It started out really good. Jey won the Rumble. It was a big surprise. I was happy about it. You know, I know there was some backlash to it, but Jey came out. They gave him a standing ovation. Like everybody was still yeeting or whatever it is, and it still, even though it was a surprise, even though there was some backlash, it felt like at least in the building, people were still like, okay, we're good with this, right? We're cool with this. But then it's kind of turned lately, similar to Charlotte. And not from an injury perspective, but from maybe fan reaction perspective, outside of the actual arenas, because he's still over in the arenas, but outside, maybe on social media or whatever it is, I wonder, is that outside noise getting to Jey? Because Jey has been kind of off lately, right? He's been kind of like, I like the emotion in his promos, but, even him missing his own dive that he never misses, like, I wonder, is that type of stuff getting to him and the outside noise getting to him? I think he's going to win the match because I think just the moment of...
You remember what Casey used to say? When Jey always used to go over the top rope, he can't get that much height. I don't know what it is. And those Usos, like, they can't get over the rope. I don't know what it is. So
and it finally caught up to him. But I think Jey's going to win. Unfortunately, this isn't the main event because this was the thing, and it honestly almost makes me think that Jey's not going to win this. But I'm a little bit surprised because I felt like this would have been a perfect way to end night one. Everybody, the entire stadium going crazy for Jey, and everybody doing the yeet chant, kind of like the yes chant was at WrestleMania 30 and stuff like that. Like you kind of still get those chants that just everybody just loves. But of course, with the Punk match being the main event, that changes that. So I'm gonna still go Jey Uso because I still think he'll win. But there's a part of me that feels like Gunther could pull this out, and it's just kind of weird that people are turning their back on Gunther too. Because Gunther's done the same thing he's always done. Like it's the same run he's always had. I don't know why it's weird that it's the same run, but I'm going Jey on this one. Justin, what you think?
Yeah, it was a really surprise, when Jey won the Rumble back, because I don't think anybody was expecting that to happen. And then we had that cool moment, everybody was eating, everybody and their mom was eating. Pat McAfee was, he gets on the table, he goes like, yeah. I feel like it's been
not eating.
Your mom's not eating, really?
No.
DJ, is your mama eating? I know she's eating. I know she'd be eating over there. I know. Is Jasmine
mama? DJ mama?
He ain't at home no more. He don't live at home in the basement no more.
DJ, go home so I can say DJ Mama.
But no, I feel like this feud has built up like the same, like Jey Uso comes out, he's eating with all the fans, and then he gets attacked. He gets put to sleep by Gunther. Gunther says the same stuff every single week, and it's like rinse and repeat. The same thing. Every single week. But I like what they did. How they brought Jimmy into it, and how Gunther's been beating down Jimmy and made him bleed. And I got like he's doing it for Jimmy now. He's doing it for his family. You don't do that to his family. You don't do that to them. The Usos there. So I'm gonna say that Jey Uso takes the title off of Gunther here. It's gonna happen. Even if it's for a short title reign. Yeah, Jey Uso's gonna win here.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Tanner, who you got?
Yeet. I got.
Let us one word.
Yeet. So
you forgot about the.
Oh yeah. 4 letters, one word. Yeet.
So I think this is going to be the show opener.
Actually, to be honest, you know what I think should be the show opener? I think they should get the worst out of the way, and it should be Tiffany and Charlotte. That should be the opener of that one.
Personally, I think this is probably going to pull a WrestleMania 35. If you're not on last, you're on first. So that's what's made me thinking that probably that this will be the show opener and get that good babyface reaction win to start off the night.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me Jey Uso to overcome all the odds. Give that fire that he had with that promo that he had this past Monday or so. It was like either this past Monday or the Monday before.
It was this past Monday, yeah.
He had a fire promo on Gunther. Give me all that energy and make people believe. And have him win.
Yeah. And I guess that's the thing. Like, I'm not one to like feed into the narrative of the internet, but I don't know. Like, I honestly don't get where the turn happened. Like, I don't know where fans started to
It's
turn
because
on
no, here's the thing. People have never thought of him as a main eventer, even though his moniker is the main event Jey Uso. They've never thought of that. The internet wrestling community has thought that. Here's the thing. The fan bases that are showing up to the live events, they are the ones that the backstage people are listening to. People that are paying money to go out to the venues, that are going out to see him, they are the ones that are influencing their decision on this. You look at the reactions that he had in Paris, and everywhere that he goes, people are yeeting all over the place. He has such a reaction that they are finally listening. Unlike whenever they did with Daniel Bryan, originally they had it planned for Batista to try to have, it was going to be Batista and Randy Orton. This is that they're actually listening to the actual fan base, and they're giving us what the majority of the fan base wants. However, it's the fact that the internet wrestling community is so fickle that they don't know what they want. They can like one thing and they'd be like, oh wait, no, we've already moved on. Why are they doing this? This is such dumb bull. It's kind of one of those, I feel like.
Because wrestling fans
easy for me. That was the John Cena promo right there, Tanner.
Yeah, because wrestling fans don't know what they want. It's like one minute they go like, oh yeah, yes, I want this, and they go like, and then once they get it, it's like they're not happy. And like Tanner, you brought up a great point. And it's been this way for many years, and it's like that's one thing that ticks me off sometimes about the internet wrestling community, especially people on Twitter.
Oh God, yeah, it's so awful.
I hate going on Twitter. Like this community is so toxic sometimes, and it's like that's why it's so hard, to like that sometimes like even to like make some content sometimes like because you hear all these people like and like you hear all these people like go like, oh, I hate this, like why, like if you hate this, then why do you watch it?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't need to watch it if you hate it so much. But and I mean that's a sidebar to get off onto another video.
Yeah.
Casey, you who you going with? If you do,
I am here. I've been here the whole time. First of all, I do think this will open the show because it's kind of WWE's how they do things. They'll open with a big championship match, and then the main event will be the other big title. That's generally how they do it. I feel like it's not my favorite, but it makes sense. So I think this will open the show. I'm honestly kind of stuck on this one because I do and don't see Jay winning. Like, part of me can see it, but then another part of me is like, I don't know if they'll pull the trigger. I don't know if they're gonna pull the trigger. Why is it so tough? Why?
I mean, and Casey, I will say too, like while you're still trying to figure it out, seeing Jay win the Rumble for me was like a good surprise. It was a pleasant surprise, and it was a worthy surprise for me. And to see the audience react afterwards, not the internet audience, but the in-person audience, really made me feel like, oh man, this is a good. I feel good about this. I feel good that this happened.
You know what? 4 letters, 1 word, guns.
Ooh.
Oh, what?
I said gunt. The first 4 letters of Gunther.
That's horrible.
Yes, I thought you said something else, my dude.
I thought you said guns. I thought you said the guns are in this.
You guys are disgusting. Okay, I would never say that, except all the time. I love that word. It should be more regularly used. Anyway.
So the main event of night 1 is Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. I'm really excited for this one, especially with the whole Paul Heyman on the pole match. Wait.
Paul Heyman in that shark cage.
Paul Heyman in a shark cage.
Can I just say this kind of looks like the Shield except without the crappy one? I said it.
I thought you loved Dean.
Yeah, listen. No. It's not Dean. It's listen. It's how they're booking him and
it's how they're booking him right now. It's
the
bad.
whole Death Riders is so fucking.
The man took a bump on nails.
Okay, yeah, no, that was disgusting.
Also, what they did. Hold on. What they did at AEW Dynasty. This is kind of getting off on a sidebar here, but what they did with AEW Dynasty. Like, I don't know, AEW right now seems like 2001 WCW bad.
And it is not. No, don't ever disrespect WCW like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty bad right now.
It's getting there. It is getting there.
Like,
I don't watch it a whole lot. I keep up with the highlights and stuff.
Because they have no the way the direction is you have someone on TV for a little bit, then they get taken off TV, and
guys. I just made a joke. We didn't need to go off on a tangent.
Yeah, let's just say let's hold off on the tangent.
Let's hold off on the tangent. Yeah, let's get on to that.
Also, insert 40-man tag team match. Anyway, look, I think if I was picking this as a normal person, not knowing any of the drama going on with Paul Heyman, I would pick. I would probably pick CM Punk. It's the first main event. It makes sense for Mania. But since I'm not normal and I understand what's actually going on, something's telling me Paul Heyman is going to screw everybody, and he's going to side with freaking Seth. Something is telling me that he's going to side with freaking Seth. I don't know what it is, but something's telling me that that's going to happen. My sources, something like that, is telling me that that's going to happen. I'm going with Seth freaking Rollins to ruin everybody's night by letting Paul Heyman side with him. Justin? Oh, what?
What was something I'm about to say? Something.
What was that, Casey?
No, never mind. I'll I'll wait till my turn.
Okay.
I will wait till my turn.
Justin.
I like the way this has been built up. What because there for a while, you're like, okay, what's that favor gonna be? To be honest, I thought that favor was kind of underwhelming in a way, because like, oh, maybe the favor is and this could still be a possibility, but like, what if like CM Punk wins here, he gets added into the main event of night 2, between Cody and Cena, he makes that a triple threat. But since like I said, I felt like this was kind of underwhelming, but now I'm kind of more intrigued with this, because like Roman Reigns go like, oh no, like you should let this fall down easy, like tell him that you're not going to be in his quarter. But Paul Heyman, he can't do that, because like with the history that CM Punk and Paul Heyman have, how CM Punk shouldn't even be in WWE, and how he's always been a Paul Heyman guy. I mean, yeah, this story goes on for so long. Even go back to the the OVW days. So I really like that there. And then of course we got Seth Rollins. How he was gonna curb stomp Paul Heyman this week, but he's like, hey, now you owe me a favor. You owe me a favor now, which basically means that, hey, you screwed both Roman and Punk. There's a point. There was like in my gut, I want to say, he's gonna side with Rollins, but in my head, I'm going like, he's probably, CM Punk. He needs to get a big, main event WrestleMania win. I don't know. I'm kind of torn with this. I tell you what, who's not getting pinned in this match? Roman Reigns. He ain't taking a pinfall. He ain't taking a pinfall there. The Tribal Chief is not taking a pinfall.
Tribal Chief doesn't take a pinfall now.
Shoot.
How Roman Reigns ended up in his like 10th straight WrestleMania main event.
It's because it's Roman. It's the Tribal Chief. The Tribal Chief, like my other, Tribal Chief, even though, we're not going to talk about my other Tribal Chief.
Who's that? Who's your other Tribal Chief?
Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, he's the Tribal Chief.
Why did you ask
why'd you ask me that?
I thought he might have an actual like good pick. I don't know.
But no, I think CM Punk's going to win here. I think Punk is still going to win, even after the favor with Rollins. Yeah, Punk's going to win.
Tanner,
I have to go with my heart on this one. There is a couple of picks on here that I'm going with my heart. I'm going with my heart of hearts on this. Give me Punk to win this. Give me Punk to win. Giving him his first win at the main event, having his big moment, having Paul Heyman screw over the Tribal Chief, continuing the trend of Roman is always screwed, not the one screwing over people. It may not make a whole lot of sense. It might be the most predictable. I think this is what needs to happen, because at least one main event needs to end in a good way and have people cheer, which is kind of spoiling my pick for the main event on the next night. One main event, at least, making people happy as they head out of the stadium. Give me Punk to win.
Okay. Casey?
All right. First of all, it's definitely not going to be Roman, because I heard rumors that he may be pretty much done.
For good?
That's what I'm hearing. I don't know.
What?
He's probably gonna take time off. He probably needs to take.
If you think about it, he's already done everything that he can do anyway.
He's going to the other company.
Happen.
He's going to
this can't happen.
Anyway,
I cannot imagine a WWE without my Tribal Chief.
I do have to interrupt on here. I got a chatter on here saying the only for sure on this match is that Seth will come in dressed like a parrot going on to their high school prom.
Yeah, Seth's attires and entrance going to be ridiculous. Same as Charlotte's going to be ridiculous too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I think my prediction is going to be that, kind of like DJ was saying before, Paul's going to screw over Punk and help Seth win. And I know people are going to freak out, but it's CM Punk's first ever WrestleMania main event. How could he lose? Because CM Punk, as much as AEW marks would like you to not believe this, he does go along with things that are best for business and actually make sense storyline wise, not ridiculous storylines that go nowhere and just put over the EVPs. Anyway, no, but I think that would do more for the storyline in general than him winning, because then you could build up the storyline with him and Seth afterwards, him trying to get revenge on Heyman for turning his back on him, and Heyman being the chicken shit heel manager, like hiding behind Seth, whatever. And I think they could still have a good feud after that, but I'm gonna go with Seth winning with Paul costing Punk the title, or the match, not title, but the match.
Okay. Justin, who'd you say again?
I said CM Punk.
Okay. Right.
He said Seth Rollins.
I kind of want to see Rollins win. Like Casey, you're making good argument there for Rollins. I don't.
He said Roman Reigns.
I was to say I think he said Roman. Or
he said the referee.
I said it's going to be a draw. It's going to be a draw.
Lord.
All right, let's hop into night 2. I feel like we might could breeze through a little more of night 2 than night 1. Seemed like it had a lot of intrigue in it, so we might could breeze.
To be honest, I'm looking forward. Looking at like the night 1 and night 2. I think night 2 is going to be better. To be honest, I don't know.
You think night 2 is going to be better? Okay.
Yeah, like looking.
Yeah, I think night 2 is probably going to be better too myself.
Okay. And to be honest, the past few years, night 1 has been better for me, in my opinion. Night 1 in these past few years, but I think night 2 might be. I think night 2 might take it this year.
Okay.
I think so.
So let's jump into Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending the tag team titles against Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. I think Liv and Raquel are gonna retain because Lyra already has the women's mid-card title, so I don't know why she would win this. Like, I don't know why she would win this one. I just don't see. Like, this was another one of those matches that kind of got thrown together like literally last week. And I don't. I mean, possibly, maybe they do something where there's a little dissension between Bayley and Lyra, and that branches off into its own feud for the Intercontinental Championship, maybe. But I'm gonna go Liv and Raquel to retain. Justin, what you think?
Okay, this is a match where, like, why don't they go with a team that makes actual sense? Like, Bayley and Lyra, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, they did that whole gauntlet match, and like, why didn't they go with like Kaden and Katana Chance to be in this match here or something? I don't know, because there were some tensions, like with that IC title match after, like Bayley kind of she seemed pissed in a way, she didn't want to shake Lyra's hand, but then then she gave her a hug, so she kind of seemed reluctant in a way. So I feel like maybe they're not on the same page. Maybe Bayley kind of screws over Lyra. But I see Liv and Raquel winning here. Yeah, they're not losing titles here.
Okay. Tanner, what you think?
I got to live in Raquel. Like I said, like you said, I don't see them losing. I don't see them losing to a Franken team of Lyra and Bailey. Plus, also Lyra and Bailey are going to go into a feud after WrestleMania for the mid card title because Bailey keeps eyeing it. So they're not going to coexist. It's going to lead to a feud going. So yeah, no, give me Liv and Raquel on this.
Okay, Casey, what you think?
What you guys said, I don't care about this match.
I'm on the same page. I really don't care about this one. The other ones I'm more invested in. This one's like.
All right, moving on to the next one. We got AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I think this match is going to be incredible, as most, I hate to say this, most of Logan Paul's matches end up being, right? As crazy as that sounds. I think him and AJ could just put on a really good, really fun, really exciting match. And Logan tends to impress every time, especially at Mania, especially on these bigger stages. I feel like even at the Saudi shows, you can kind of say like he just tends to impress time and time again. And I think especially at Mania, he does it. I think his entrance is going to be wild too. Be interested to see what he does with his entrance. But I'm excited to see this match. And you know, as AJ gets older too, it's just interesting watching him more and more. I'd really love to see him get another run at the world title too, but we'll see. But I'm gonna go with, I think AJ gets the win, because I think you're kind of at a point where Logan, he doesn't really need to win. He just needs to come out, look good in the match, and that's about it. He's had his US title run. You know, he has his sponsorships and stuff like that. Like, I feel like he can just come in, have a good match, and kind of end it at that. I think AJ would benefit more from winning this match just because he's just coming back. He's just kind of getting, you know, himself into the thick of everything again. So I'm gonna go AJ on this one. Justin, what you think?
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go with AJ Styles here. But then again, you know, there's like a thing, you know, like Karrion Kross has been like, you know, like in the background with like AJ Styles and stuff. Like he's trying to like bring out this more like darker side of AJ. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know. It's very weird. But to be honest, Logan Paul does not need the win. Like you said, DJ, just have him come out there, look good. Like, cause Logan Paul, I mean, this, we know whatever you want to say about Logan Paul, he still good, he still can go in the ring pretty good. You know, he actually he cares about this business to actually train and want to do good. So I'm gonna say that AJ Styles wins here though. He needs to win more than Logan.
Okay, Tanner.
Well, that sums up there. AJ Styles. There you go.
That does sum it up.
This is my all-time favorite wrestler. Even back in TNA, I cannot go against the man, the myth, the legend, the phenomenal AJ Styles. He better win against this YouTuber. He better win against somebody who has not been in the business as long as AJ Styles have. If he loses, I will lose it.
You're going to crash out.
I will crash out and I will riot. The house will not be safe if AJ Styles loses to Logan freaking Paul. It'll be like me crashing out whenever y'all started talking about Jinder freaking Mahal, only 10 times worse. I will crash out harder.
Listen, don't hinder Jinder. Listen, don't talk bad.
I will kill you.
Don't talk bad about the modern day Maharaja.
I'm not going to get into it again because I will crash out again over it. I brought up some firm good points whenever they start talking about that.
Hey, listen, it's like DJ when he talks about when we bring up Michael Tarver. Michael Tarver is his favorite wrestler.
Michael Tarver and Chavo's roll up, but all of those things horrible, just the worst. Casey,
don't you dare hinder Jinder.
3 moves in how to sell.
as human beings, I kind of don't like either of these guys for personal reasons. So can they both lose?
I mean, there could be a double disqualification.
No,
double count-
I'm going with
count out.
AJ. I'm going with AJ. I hate Logan Paul so much.
What did
So
AJ
much.
do?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, what did AJ do to you?
He thinks the Earth is flat.
Hey,
Oh my
that is
God.
not his fault.
The man
he is
has
phenomenal.
the man has literally been around the world, and come on.
He
Hey.
doesn't. He has never quote said that he is quote an actual flat earther. I know the episode that what you're talking about on the ride along is like they make some good points, but he never flat out said he was a flat earther.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
He's a flat Arthur. Arthur.
Arthur is not flat. He's thick.
He's
Arthur
right.
is thick.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Now I will take flat earther AJ over Japan Woods Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
All right,
Oh,
let's
buddy,
jump
I'm
into
looking
the
forward to this.
Intercontinental Championship match, the Fatal 4-Way. Braun Breaker, the champion, defending against Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Penta. Something's telling me Penta's winning this title. But I mean, if Dirty Dom comes out with the title, I ain't gonna be mad, okay? I've been telling y'all for a long, long time about Dirty Dom, all right? I've been telling y'all. I told y'all when he had the short hair, no mullet, no facial hair, and he was a little bit pudgy. I've been telling y'all, okay? This man is
He's
one
still
of
a
the
little
greats.
bit pudgy.
He's still a bit
Hey,
pudgy.
No,
Hey,
you were.
hey,
Listen,
hey,
DJ, you were telling
That
us
is a
back
daddy bod, okay? Hey,
DJ, you were.
DJ, it's called a dad bod, not a daddy bod. When you say daddy, that makes it a little bit weird.
Yeah, that makes it weird, dude.
Daddy
If you say
What's
it,
the
that's
daddy
fine.
bod?
That's
You
daddy
know.
bod.
what's wrong with the daddy Dom bod? That's what Liv would call it. I'm just
Yeah, Liv can
repeating
call
what
it
Liv
all
would
she
say.
wants to. Liv can call it all she wants to. You though don't get that right.
That's
No,
true.
listen, DJ. You were high on Dom when he was, when they had the whole custody of Dominic Mysterio. You see, that's what it was.
That's right.
Or even when he was
I
young,
knew.
when back in like 2010, when he was a little bit taller, but he wasn't, Aaliyah was kind of a little bit shorter than him and stuff. And they were doing the whole birthday stuff. I was watching WrestleMania 26 today. And they were doing this. They had like Dominic Mysterio in the ring. I was like, damn, it's crazy how much time has changed. But yeah, see, back when they did the whole custody of Dominic Mysterio, yeah, you were high on him then.
But in reality, I'm going with Penta. I think Penta wins this match. I would love to see Finn. I don't know. I wouldn't be mad if anybody in this match won, but I feel like Penta's gonna win. Justin, what you think?
So we got Dirty Dom. We got, you keep saying Finn Balor's name wrong. It's Pin Balor, because he always gets pinned. He always takes a pin. It's
Balor.
Pin Balor. Yes, that's his name, which is unfortunate. And you got Braun Breaker and Penta. Oh my God, dude! I don't even know who is going to win this match. I mean, you got that whole friction between. It looks like Finn Balor is going to get kicked out of the Judgment Day. There's tension in there. So maybe they might cancel each other out. But then again, I want to see Finn Balor. I want to see the Demon return. I want to see the Demon return here. But I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I'm going to go with Penta to win. Yeah.
You said Penta, right?
Yeah, I said Penta's going to win the match. Yeah.
Tanner, who you got?
Who is that?
As much as I would love to pull for this man, because I absolutely love Finn Balor. As much as I would love, he's not winning it. He's not winning it, and it makes me sad. Because such a fall.
Are you about to pull out your Penta? You about to pull out your Penta Funko?
No, I'm not to pull out the Penta.
Is there even a Penta Funko? That'd be cool if there was.
I think there is,
Not
but see, whenever you go up against a genetic freak like Braun Breaker, you have less than a 50% chance.
Oh, we're doing a
But
Steiner
then you
match
add
here.
other people into the mix. Your percentage to win drastic go down. I have the man, Braun Breaker, retaining his title.
Okay.
He has a 33. All of them have a 33. And
All of them have less than a 25% chance.
There we go. Yeah, we're not doing Steiner math. We're doing actual. We're doing 25%.
We are doing a Steiner math right now. So no, I've got Braun retaining the title in this. I have a feeling that this is going to cause further dissension between Dom and Finn. I think Finn is going to take the pin in this fight, but it's going to be through Braun Breaker. Now, I definitely could see Dom winning this. I definitely could, he's my second pick for Dom to win this. But I'm going with Braun. I don't think there's going to be too many title changes during Mania. I've already got a few. I'm going with Braun just because his title reign has been pretty good. I've enjoyed it, and he has been wrecking fools. The way especially the spear that he had against Carlito last Monday. Holy crap!
Yeah, I think Carlito is dead. They're having a funeral for him. I heard
dead. So that's what's got me thinking that he's going to retain. Braun is going to retain. He's going to spear the life out of Finn. Finn goes for a coup de grace. Braun catches him mid-air with the spear. I would love to see that spot, and that's how he wins. That would be amazing. Yeah. But yeah, no, give me Braun.
You know what? I want to see a huge Mexican destroyer off the top rope or something. I want to see something crazy happen with that.
You want to see somebody die?
Oh yeah, no, this is a fatal four-way. This is going to be an amazing car crash of a match.
A few years ago, back when Penta was in AEW, when they did that whole steel cage match with the Young Bucks.
Oh my god!
I said, I want to see like a Canadian destroyer or a Mexican destroyer off the top of the cage. But I still want to see something crazy. I want to see something crazy happen.
It wasn't crazy enough for them to do it off the top of the ladder into tables.
I know. I need something crazier. I need to up the ante here.
Casey, what you think?
So I still, and I'm trying to break myself of this mindset, but I'm still in the mindset of Vince McMahon's WWE, where they will not push guys, especially not to a title, who don't speak great English. So that's my hesitation with Penta. I don't think Triple H is like that. I think Triple H will definitely push guys more, whether or not they have, good English or not, because Penta can communicate. He's not, his English isn't the best. So I want to say Penta as a fan. I want to say Penta because to me, it's still just cool that he's finally in the WWE, in the top promotion in the world, where he belongs. Let's be honest. But I don't know if I see them putting the title on him yet, or putting a title on him, because for one, again, I think he's one of those guys that the buzz is so big with him. I don't think he needs it. Right, fans have been waiting for so long for him to get an opportunity with a big company like WWE, and he's finally there. I don't think he needs the title, so I think Braun's gonna retain because there's gonna be too much between Dom and Finn for either of them to win. I think they're gonna at every opportunity they're gonna stop each other from, getting the pin or whatever, or try to screw each other over. So I'm going to go with Braun retaining, but I would love to see Penta win the title. But I don't think he needs it, and I don't know if they'll push him to that yet.
Okay.
Justin, who did you say you had in that again?
I said Penta, but then again, I kind of want to change my pick to Braun because
Nope, can't do it.
Nope, too late.
yeah,
Moving
you know
on.
what? Oh, here we go.
Ooh, this one. Oh God.
Sin City street fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. I feel like this is one of those matches where I've been kind of like, I think the build's gotten better. I think it felt like it came out of nowhere to a certain degree, but I feel like as it's like progressed, I feel like the build has gotten better and better and more like intense. I mean, I know Drew got his Mania win last year, but then got kind of screwed by Priest. I think Drew's gonna win this match. I really do. I think it's felt like Drew. It's been a while since Drew's had a good moment, so I think he's gonna finally get one. So I'm going with Drew on this one. Justin, what you think?
Listen, Drew McIntyre is the baby face in this storyline. Because, listen, he's been screwed over and over again by Damian Priest. You know, it started last year at WrestleMania. And then we go to Money in the Bank where he tries to cash in and then he gets really screwed over there. He loses his Money in the Bank. And at SummerSlam, gets screwed over there. The Rumble, he gets eliminated. And then, of course, that Elimination Chamber, Damian Priest eliminates him. So, you know, Damian Priest has have the upper hand for most of this time. Yeah. So it needs to be Drew McIntyre. He's a babyface. You know, it's correct. You know, it's okay for him to have all these crash out moments. You know, it's okay. You know, because Drew is the babyface here and Damian is the heel. Okay, Drew McIntyre wins.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Tanner, who you got?
This one I keep going back and forth on. This one I keep thinking on and on and on and on about. This one's tough for me. I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre. I think Drew is due a big win, an actual win that doesn't get reversed. The only other win he has had was during the COVID Mania. He needs an actual win, and it stay an actual win. Mm-hmm. Love Damian Priest. I think he is a great wrestler. Give me Drew in this one.
Okay, Casey.
Give me the winner in this one. Just write that down. Winner of the match. I kind of want to go Damian, but I'm gonna go Drew.
See, that's kind of where I'm at on that too. Like, this is just one of those. It could go either way in my mind.
Alrighty. Next one we got is the Triple Threat Women's World Championship match. The champion, which still surprises me to this day, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair, the Royal Rumble winner, and Rhea Ripley, who somehow found her way into this match. Which, I mean, not that I was really excited for Bianca and Rhea, and it's kind of interesting how they've like played this out because they've kind of like little sistered Io time and time again. Like, you know, do you really deserve to be here? How did you even get in this moment? Like, get out my face type situation is between us two, which could, I think, honestly, could keep Rhea or Bianca from winning the title. But I'm going to be honest. I think because of the way the crowd is starting to react to Bianca for whatever reason, and this might honestly set up a Bianca Jade feud in the near future too. I think because she's starting to get booed, I think she's going to turn heel and win this match right here at Mania and win the title. I'm going with Bianca. Justin.
Yeah, listen. This is one match I'm really looking forward to quite a bit. Like, the story here, you know, with, you know, you thought, you know, it was a clear path, you know, it's going to be Rhea Ripley and just Bianca Belair. But then you have Io Sky winning, you know, the night after Elimination Chamber. Like, whoa, what the hell happened here? Like I was so surprised about that. And then each week, like the disrespect that they give to Io Sky. Like, no, you ain't gonna be disrespecting her. And then finally, she had enough this week. She drop kicks both of them. Takes them both out. And then Rhea Ripley, she does she tries to sign the contract, a few weeks ago. Like, wait, that's what's that word? Like when you sign something that doesn't have your name on it. Like, well, that's contract binded or whatever, or something like that. Like she can't be doing that. No, like Rhea Ripley needs to be arrested. Like, no, you can't be doing that.
She's a wrestler, actually.
What?
She's a wrestler. She used to be the women's world champion, I think. Actually,
no, I said she needs to be arrested. Oh. She can't be doing that. No. No, I'm really looking forward to this match a lot. Like, there's so many layers to this. But I think that the way that Bianca's character has been going lately, I think that she's going to win some cheap way. I think Io is definitely taking the pin, unfortunately. But yeah, Bianca's going to win here. Yeah.
Okay, Tanner, what you think?
Okay, tell me if you've heard this before. Ripley and Bianca are going to get so caught up with each other. They're not going to acknowledge Io in this entire matchup. That's going to play into her favor. I've got Io Sky retaining the championship because they are treating her like the little sister, not paying any attention to her, and that's going to be their downfall. I know it's predictable. I know they keep doing it. However, they still haven't learned. They still haven't learned. These other women have not learned. I think Bianca this is the start of her heel turn, but I don't think with the title. I think Io is still going to win, and she's still going to end up being probably Rhea Ripley because she always has to beat Rhea Ripley. Ripley has yet to beat Io Sky. She has yet to beat Io Sky. The only other thing I can maybe see is Rhea Ripley pinning Bianca to win and keeping that streak that Io has. But I'm going with I think the obvious pick. I'm going with Io on this.
Okay. Casey, who you got? Chase. Cassie.
I will answer when I'm ready.
Cassie.
I will answer when I'm ready. Io of the Sky. I have answered.
Okay. All right. So the main event of night 2, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. This one, I've been thinking about this, like how they could kind of screw John Cena in a way, and he have to work his way back to the title or whatever it is, right? To that, that illustrious 17. But that was before he turned heel. When they screwed him out of the Rumble, potentially having the chance to screw him out of the Chamber. But I think my curiosity is starting to be raised when I see John Cena winning this match and then just leaving, right? Like retiring the title. I don't know, coming back to the spinner belt. Who cares? It doesn't matter. I want to see what this whole.
He's gonna be another part-time champion. That's what it's gonna be. He's gonna be another.
But I'm curious to see. He said he wants to ruin wrestling for us all. So I want to see what that looks like.
Yeah,
right? I want to see does he leave with the title and just doesn't defend it, and then they have to create a new title, or they have to bring back one, or maybe
the Winged Eagle Championship.
Well, I was thinking maybe they even keep this going. He leaves with this title, and then Cody, to get back in his head, brings back the spinner title and cosplays with that for a little while, just to kind of like he did on Friday, but more so he just kind of, I don't know, but Cody's not the type to carry around a title that's not his, so I guess that's the other part of it. Or maybe like they crown a new championship. They crown a new champion, and they need a new championship, so they kind of dig through the archives a little bit, and the spinner belt comes back, and it kind of like, just forces Cena to come back because he wants, what he created to come back with him or something. I don't know. I think there's a lot of intrigue in Cena winning this match, because once he wins this match, what happens, right? How often he's going to be on TV? I mean, I know he's booked for a lot of TV coming up very, very soon, but it's like, how often will he be around? What does this mean? How often will he defend? So it'll be very, very interesting. But yeah, I'm going Cena. I'm going Cena to win. I'm going with a complete, like, it's going to be one of those situations where it's like a complete boo fest that he wins this match and he breaks this record as a heel, but at the same time it's bittersweet, right? Like, you win the title, you break the record, everybody's been waiting on it. I mean, we can't forget that a year and a half ago, he was trying to go for 17 against Roman Reigns. So I mean, probably it's longer than that now, but against Roman Reigns at like SummerSlam, I think it was, and everybody was so excited that that he might dethrone this legendary run of Roman Reigns at the time, and of course he didn't. So it's kind of one of those scenarios where it's like I'm intrigued to see what happens after Cena wins this, and kind of where they go from there, and kind of like y'all talked about before, how much involvement does The Rock have? Because of course last year's Bloodline Rules match was crazy and there was all kinds of stuff, but I don't necessarily expect to see as much in this one. So we'll definitely see. But yeah, I definitely think Cena wins, and it brings some intrigue to what's going to happen in WWE post WrestleMania. So, Justin, what you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of split with this match because like, the Cena want to win his 17th, as a heel. Like maybe, but then again, I was like, I don't know, maybe, they have him, win it at SummerSlam, and that was originally what I was thinking, him as a babyface. But now since he's a heel, I'm like, hey, I would love to see him flip WWE upside down, Tim take the title from us and like him just fuck shit up, him and just change everything up. And also, you brought up a great point. Like, what does The Rock? What's The Rock's involvement in this? And it's the way that they're going to play this out is going to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, yeah, I'm going to go with Cena to win. I'm going with Cena to get his 17th, even though it's going to be a hellish way. I don't want to see it this way, but I think that's the way it's going to happen. He's going to win, because what's the point of turning Cena heel if he doesn't win here? Like, what's the point?
Yeah, that's true. Tanner, what you think?
Yeah,
it's an echo chamber here. Cena is going to get the win. It's a foregone conclusion at this point. Like you said, what is the point of turning him heel if he does not win? By hook or by crook, he is going to be the 17-time world champion. Ric Flair is going to try to jump over the barricade and try to whoop up on him because of this. But he's going to disappear because you can't see him. Ric Flair ain't going to touch him. Cena's going to win. And I've enjoyed Cody's run. I think Cody will probably go away for a while because of this, because they're probably going to brutalize him after or during the match. He'll probably go away for a while until SummerSlam. And I think this is why I got AJ winning. I think let Cena go through all the hits. Let him face AJ. Let that be his first title defense. Let them have another barn burner classic before Cena retires. Let him go at it again. Okay. That I dream, I pray, I will pray for this to happen. But yeah, no, Cena.
Okay, Casey, what you think?
It's got to be Cena. It doesn't make sense for it to not be Cena.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I mean, not necessarily completely, because you could still do something, but like if he loses, the heel turn, I feel like almost was for nothing. He has to win. He has to take the title. He has to take it away. Destroy it. Whatever he does with it, right? Because he's this big bad heel now that wants to terrorize the fans, whatever. Um, and plus, Cody has to have a reason to cry because that's what Cody does. He cries
And
a
all the
lot.
Cody crybabies. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how this show ends, and kind of like you said, they're kind of setting us up for a bittersweet moment. Like they're setting us up for a moment where it's like, this is what we've waited for so long. We knew Cena was going to do it, but at the same time, do we want it not this way? Do we want to see it this way? So it's very, very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how this goes, and how it plays out and how the rest of the run, if Cena wins this match, how the rest of the run goes throughout the rest of the year, and does he end up making an appearance next year at Mania too? Because that's kind of his coup de grace at the end of his farewell tour. But definitely excited. I can't wait. Not just less than a week away, so just gonna be a lot of fun.
I would like to know where exactly where is my favorite tag team? Where is the Motor City Machine Guns? Why? How do we not have one of the greatest tag teams of all time on this show?
That's what I'm saying. How do we not have them on here? That's crazy.
Doesn't make sense. But if nobody else has anything, we'll get up out of here and let y'all.
I will say this.
Get ready for the show.
I will say this. You are not taking this away from the glorious Tanner McDavid. He is a 7-time Epps pay-per-view wrestling champion. He does this for a living, winning championships, making the right predictions, and I am the current reigning and defending Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast prediction champion. So, I say to the rest of you chumps, get ready to feel the smackdown of an EPW original founder and all around the best member of that roster. Because I'm going to do it again. I'm going to retain. And y'all are going to wait a whole nother year to do one of these predictions. And I'm going to hold on to it for a full nother year unless you all decide to actually start doing predictions more often.
So we were running from Tanner. That's what it was. We were running from Tanner because he took the title from us.
What are you going to do next week when your shoulder gets a little bit cold because there's nothing there to cover it? I'm just wondering.
Oh, I know where you live now, so I'll come after you.
All right.
He's going to come after you. Whoa.
What you going to do, brother?
What you going to do when the glorious one runs wild on your candy ass?
Also, sidebar, quick, because I just thought about it. I don't know if the crappy promo made me think of it. Anyway, no. Are we going to see anything in relation to Impact? Because WWE
probably with NXT, maybe
is working. I feel
I
like
doubt
they got
Mania. I doubt on
Come
Mania.
on.
There's too much. There's too much already going on. The only thing I not would have thought of if John Cena hadn't turned heel and went after Cody, I would have made an argument because Joe Hendry made a claim for
Joe
it.
Hendry.
He had made a claim that he wanted to face John Cena. I would have maybe have said, hey, if you want to go after your 17th title, go after the TNA title, have Joe Hendry versus John Cena. That was going to be my pitch if he didn't go after Cody Rhodes.
That'd be fucking bonkers if
exactly.
You know what? Have Cena win the title and then have him go after the Impact title too.
Title for title. There we go. There we go.
Having
And then
destroyed two
after-
companies.
After he wins it, then AJ Styles challenges for the TNA title. The TNA title back.
And then he goes after the AEW title. He goes.
No, we don't do that.
No, we don't go after an AEW.
Oh, God. But
We can just buy that at
we-
Walmart. It's fine.
as we wrap up, definitely hope you guys enjoyed the show as usual. We'll come back with a review so we can talk about why I am the picks champion of the world and the universe and
No,
Florida.
that's me.
So
Actually,
so
you know
y'all
what we
know.
need? We need to create a title belt, a prediction title belt for the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast.
You go do that. You go.
And
pay for
here's
that.
what we do. We're gonna ship it around to each person for each pay
Yeah,
per view.
whoever's last has to pay for the shipping.
You know what? Justin
right,
can
y'all.
pay for all that.
Actually, we'll make 4 belts so we don't have to pay for shipping. And then, like when we're champions, like yeah, we
I
got 4
feel like
belts.
that would cost more than just
Yeah, that
shipping
costs
the
more than
title.
the shipping.
all right, y'all. Let's get up out of here. We'll see you guys on the next episode of the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, and I promise you next time won't be next year. But I mean always, and
It will.
No, it won't. Don't listen to him. Don't listen. This man right here, this man down here, he
Don't
don't know
listen
what
to
he's
this
talking about. But see y'all later on the next one. Until next time.